This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Studio Series from Transformers the movie, Soundwave, with Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. What's kind of interesting about this one, though, is I don't think most of those guys showed up. Buzzsaw, I don't think showed up in any episode of Transformers, so that was just a quick, cheap repaint to add to this. And because the only other way to get Buzzsaw was to order their reissue of the Earthroar Soundwave, or Netflix series Soundwave, however you want to look at it. And then Ravage, was Ravage in that one? Yeah, I think he was. Ratbat is actually the one who was in the movie, though, if I remember correctly. But we already got a repaint of Ratbat for the movie with Perceptor. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look here. On the side, we just get a close-up of Soundwave's head. On the other side, we get to see some of the destruction of Autobot City on Earth. And on the back, we see a brief clip. Soundwave sends his cassette troops on a spy mission. But we have Soundwave back there in robot and cassette player mode. And then we have the Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage in their bird and dog mode. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? So accessory-wise here, we have lots of little accessories. All the little guns for Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. I have no idea what these are for yet. We have Ravage's little missile launchers. And we have his ass end, apparently. So why don't we start with the cassettes here, shall we? Transformation wise, it should be easy, and they don't actually really resemble cassettes at all. Like, they're not even trying anymore with the cassettes to have them really resemble cassettes. Probably because most of the younger generation doesn't know what they are. Fold the wings over. Fold the legs down. Fold the wings back. Bring the beak forward. Huh. I think I now know what these are for. There we go. Buzz off. We'll do the same thing here with Laserbeak. Now, just for a quick comparison here, we have the Studio Series Laserbeak and the Netflix Laserbeak. Well, technically speaking, a lot of the Studio Series one does look better. It doesn't really quite match up, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, his guns do look more like they do in the show, and his... I guess his wings do too, but he looks more like a jet than a bird, you know what I mean? Like, all they needed to do was make it so his head went all the way forward and it would be more of a jet. Now, that being said, I like the head sculpt better on the original version here. Oh, and before we get too far, let's just go ahead and test out Ravage in here. It's a very tight fit. Closes up and ejects. So if we take our Laserbeak from the other series, it goes in there also. It actually fits better than that one does. That's just kind of sad, really, when you get right down to it. Now for Ravage. This one's probably going to be a little bit more tricky and less intuitive. There's another time where we fold the sides of the head to make the head as one piece. I guess we just rotate the arms forward there. Ah, okay, hold on. Something here has to spin. Alright, so we have a joint right here. But I can't get it to actually... Maybe if I pull that out, pull those up. Okay, let's rotate those all the way forward there then. And then rotate that around. And we can get his legs down. Well, not really sure how the butt's supposed to fit in place on this guy. I guess like that. So, if we want to compare it to the, again, Netflix version, they both suck. Like, that's just... They both suck. They have not made a decent Ravage yet, to be honest with you, that could transform. And I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. That leaves us with Soundwave himself. For a comparison, we have our yellowed... Oh my god, that really does look terrible, doesn't it? Our yellowed Earthrise one. Was it Earthrise or Earthrise? So generally speaking, the new Soundwave is taller, but he's being sold as a leader class, so he damn well better be taller. Not as detailed, but it definitely looks better, honestly. Don't get me wrong, this was actually a pretty nice Soundwave when he came out. But the yellowing's kind of a put off, and I generally found Transformers to have gotten really too busy with the sculpting. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the extra details, or do you think it's just too busy? I don't mind when they hide details in them and stuff too, but I'm just not a big fan of how detailed they've been. He does, of course, come with his blaster and his cannon. This does not open up at all. And just sits up there like that. Again, much like our previous one. Actually, the back looks really good on the new one, and the older one just... Honestly, these two look like they're probably going to share the same transformation, basically, too, when you get right down to it. But I don't remember the transformation, so there's that. So let's just go ahead and take the equipment off here and talk about his articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so he can look all around. Shift it a bit. Tilt his head a little bit. The arm does hinge up very nicely. We can spin all the way around. You can do some funky moves for transformation there. We have a single joint in the elbow, but we do have the bicep cut, so that's good. The wrist does spin, surprisingly, and the hand does open up. And it is designed here to hold the gun while open also. We can spin at the waist here. Full 360. His skirt piece is cut so that you can hinge all the way up that way. We can move that skirt piece out of the way, and we can go all the way back with the legs, so he can kind of do the splits. But what about sideways? Yeah, he can do the splits that way too. There is, of course, the twist here at the thigh. Single joint at the knee, which gives us a good 90 degrees there. Pretty sure we could open up the back of him, back of his leg if we wanted, and get a little, no? Well, a little bit further, I guess. Not much. Nope, same distance. Never mind. The foot does spin also, and there is an ankle rocker, like with most Transformers. Also, I don't know, man. I feel like they're not using the same gray on all the pieces. I mean, yeah, they're painted this here, but it feels like this is actually a different color gray than that. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but can you see that? This looks more like that awful kind of off gray color that they use on a lot of the stuff when they want to be cheap on the gray plastics. But anyway, let's try to figure out how he transforms. And I just broke him. So we'll get that out of the way here. We know that's going to fold out eventually, so pull that down, and we can tuck his head in, like so. And it looks like these panels here are probably designed to hide his weapons. So that's a nice addition right there. Now we'll obviously have to turn that way at some point. Those will come out. The fist will need to be hidden away. Is it really cheaper to do these? Is it really cheaper to do these fists this way and not just have them slide out? Okay. Well, we know the panel opens up back there. Alright, those open up. Looks like we need to turn the foot around and then put that inside. I wonder if that goes back into place back there. Is there another? No, there's not another fold there. Wait, no? Alright, so this is going to have to fold this way somehow, but how? Because that's like the little... Oh, wow, hey. I didn't realize that folded in there. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to cheat and check out the instructions for the legs, because I have no idea. Okay. Looks like the arms are supposed to fold all the way back here. Okay, then panel folds back up in place. Shit. Tab everything into place here. Alright, so that gives us our combined form there. Let's go ahead and put a bird cassette in him. You know, these are really a tight fit. But there, it fits in there like that and opens up. Take a look though. Here we got his sides there. Unfortunately, the little dials that are supposed to be showing don't because of the way that's set up. Still, it looks pretty good. They did try to hide some of the stuff in the back, unlike when we bring out our previous version here. Again, very yellowed. And in case you're wondering, I actually have two versions or two of these in order to display one in both modes. Probably won't do that with the new one. And honestly, I would consider not replacing these, but God, that yellowing looks terrible, doesn't it? So that's the front of them compared together. My complaint again with this Soundwave was that they should have made this outline here gold to match that. But the back here, this is really where the whole thing stands out quite a bit better. You know, they didn't try to hide anything back here, and you just kind of like stands there like that, you know? Where this one, we got the quote batteries hidden, which is one of those things to consider is that for the original Soundwave toys, his guns were designed to look like batteries, so you just slipped them in the back like a pair of batteries when he was in cassette player mode. So definitely speaking, man, the Studio Series Soundwave is a lot better. And what's nice, too, is unlike with Blaster, this is a new production, right? Although the transformation on a lot of it is very similar. It's not 100% the same. But it was still very close. That being said, we do have our Studio Series Frenzy/Rumble here. See if I can remember how to transform this guy. Oh yeah. You know, I don't believe I ever actually opened up the red one. Not that I think I got him transformed perfectly, but there. And of course, the Studio Series Frenzy Rumble does fit in there. So I want to make note of something really quick here. So in cassette mode, or cassette player mode, I should say, you can fit Laserbeak and Buzzsaw's guns here on the side. Like, I mean, it doesn't look right, but, you know, it's a place to store them. I cannot find a good hidden spot, though, for Ravage's tail to go. Like, they don't have a good spot set up on this one for that. The only place I could think of is up here as like some kind of antenna, but that looks stupid and doesn't fit the aesthetic, whatever. Aesthetic. You know, his tail doesn't fit in the slot here. The little thing that you plug into that doesn't fit in there either. The only thing you can do is put it right up here. And that's just sad. Like, I don't know what they had in thought. And there's nothing in the instructions about doing any of this, by the way. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So overall, the cassettes are okay, but not great. Soundwave himself actually is pretty nice, though. I will fully go along with that. Soundwave looks really good. I will probably be going ahead and replacing my Netflix Soundwave with this one. I don't know about the cassette version yet. I probably will just pack both the Soundwaves away, to be honest with you, as well as their cassettes. The new Studio Series stuff definitely looks better, in my opinion, overall. Yeah, it's a little bit less detailed, per se, but I kind of like the cleaner look. My only real complaint is it would have been nice if they'd found a better way to hide Ravage's tail. Ravage himself is just pretty awful, but every Ravage that they've done has been pretty bad, to be honest. Except for actually the Masterpiece one was pretty good, as I recall. But yeah, this was also a really hard figure to find. Like, I feel like I got lucky again where there was limited stock when I saw it available on Entertainment Earth and I ordered it right away, along with a couple other things. Otherwise, I don't think I would have him because I have not seen this figure in stores at all. And we've seen some of the later figures in stores, you know what I mean? But why don't you guys let me know what you think about Soundwave in the comments below, and if this is one you're going to pick up, heck, were you able to get the Netflix one? Because he was hard to get too at the time. And hopefully this one won't yellow. And maybe that's why they got that cheap plastic. Maybe it doesn't yellow like the other stuff did. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please feel free to transform that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Maybe even hit that notification bell. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.